Hi, Doc. Now, your first name is Jan. That's a great name.
Yes, it's actually Jan. My father came from Holland.
Jan.
So it's Jan. My full name is Jan Roderick Mensink. And it's really Jan, but nobody knows how to pronounce it. Once in a while, someone from Europe will say, oh, how are you doing, Jan? But nobody knows. So I always call it Jan.
Right.
And, because nobody knows.
When you were in school
I used my second name, my middle name. Rod.
Rod, okay.
Because
that's a cool name, too.
People tease me. I had a girl's name. The kids are stupid.
Jan,
stupid.
Yeah.
But,
I know. Well,
they're cruel.
Kids are cruel. I smack them upside the head.
Now, the other side of the coin, Jazz, I am, because of my name, an honorary member of the National Association of Female Executives. Now, between you and me, I think if I had to send $25 in with my dog's name, I could have got the plaque too. I'm not sure. But
that's freaking great.
But anyhow,
that's freaking great. How you been doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Haven't seen you in a while, but I'm sure glad to have you back with us, man. It's always a pleasure talking. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, Jazz, I thought we'd talk about something different. We're going to make our patients, or all our people out there, we're going to show them how to do some tests to diagnose or check 4 simple issues in their health. All right. We're going to teach them how to do a physical exam on themselves. 4 simple things that
not a prostate exam.
No. Okay. If you want, I can show you how to do it yourself, but I'm not interested in it really.
Hey, Dr. Jellyfinger, now just watch it, will you?
But no, there's 4 things, four different tests, Jess, that are simple to do.
Right.
All you need is a thermometer for one of them. Another one, you need a mirror and a light, and the other ones, you don't even need anything except a little bit of pH paper that your pool man probably has.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I was thinking pH paper. Where do you get that? I've got some in the shed.
Sure, it is cheap. So these are 4 things, and I like them because they're fairly accurate. All right. They don't. They will tell you if there's a problem or not. That's not whether you should look at.
So
more.
you don't have to go to PAL.
No, no. You may further need more testing to go to PAL or something like that.
Eventually, but at least you can get the ball rolling.
But this is a way, like for instance, one of the we're going to tell how to screen for thyroid disease.
Okay.
All right.
How do you do that?
There's a very simple way, and this was essentially done by Dr. Breda Barrels years ago. This was discovered, and essentially what you do as soon as you get up in the morning. You take an old-fashioned thermometer. Digital thermometers will not work. All right, you need an old-fashioned thermometer, and you put it in your axilla, and you hold it
in
your armpit.
Oh,
armpit, axilla.
Speak English, will you?
And you hold it there for 10 minutes. Okay, this is called a resting basal body temperature. If that thermometer temperature is less than 97.8, there's something like an 80-90% chance that you're going to have thyroid problem. And you need to have thyroid.
You're going to, or you have?
You have.
Okay,
you have.
Gotcha. All right.
All right. These studies have even with doing this have even showed is if you have a normal TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and your temperature is still low, you need further thyroid tests because you still will have thyroid problems with a normal TSH.
Okay, so this is old-fashioned thermometer.
Old-fashioned thermometer.
Under the armpit.
Under the armpit for 10
minutes.
For
10 minutes, and then if it's
97.8 or less, you should see your doctor.
Now, I'm taking thyroid. First, I got some from your office, and I found the exact same thing online. I'm buying it now. I'm taking it. It's a little black capsule, a thyroid pill. What is that doing for me?
Is it iodide or thyroid? Because iodide is usually
iodide.
Iodide. Several things happen with iodide, and our ideas have changed totally about iodide and iodine. When Fukushima went off 4 years ago, and it just spewed all this radiation on I-31 and now cesium, the whole West Coast is flooded with radiation. In fact, the background radiation levels are so high, Jess, that if this was Diablo that went off outside San Francisco, the amount of background radiation would be evacuating San Francisco. It's that bad. So what the NRC did was they stopped publishing those results because they didn't want to cause panic. And number 2, then they increased the norms so that it wouldn't cause panic. And I understand why they did that. I'm not sure I agree with it, but that's the reasoning they went behind it. All right, well, it was behind it why they did. But since that time, we have an awful lot of more thyroid issues coming up because of that. But here's something really neat, and this came out of the Diablo mess over there. The rates of thyroid disease, cancer, and all is just skyrocketing up in Japan, right? And downwind. I'm not sure it's downwind or high, but just down the way.
Down
in Japan. There's 3 counties 3 counties, Jazz,
Yeah.
that have 0 incidence of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and endometrial cancer.
Over what period of time?
For years, all right?
Okay.
And with this with the Fukushima going off, it didn't change. And so the researchers went in and said, how come? Why? There's something wrong, not something wrong, but what is happening? Right. Well, the bottom line, these people live on the coast. These 3 counties over there.
They eat a lot of fish.
They eat kelp. All they have is kelp diet. They eat 18 milligrams per day of iodine. All right?
Wow.
And that's where the first studies were saying, Holder, this is beneficial. And we use a lot of iodine or iodide. We only use 6 milligrams. But here's the reason why. Because number one, there's a whole bunch of neat things it does for your immune system. And number two, for your thyroid especially. But it is also, we now know, the studies show that iodide itself is what's called apoptotic. That's a big word for saying it lowers the cancer risk. Wow. So you're getting this extra benefit.
So what you suggested I take, which is this thyroid iodide, is actually will contribute to the prevention of cancer.
That's right.
Wow. Neat.
Now here's where it's really neat.
See, I just do what he says. I never ask him why I'm doing it.
Yeah, but we use a lot of, especially our females that go on bioidentical hormones. All right, bioidentical hormones lower the risk of cancer. Okay, the lower the risk of breast cancer, ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer, but it's not 0. Right? Anybody who says that you take bioidentical hormones, you're not going to get cancer, doesn't know what they're talking about. That's not true. But if you add, increase your D3 levels, like we've talked about, but if you add iodine or iodide. We give our patients 6 milligrams. It's number one, it's safe. It's dirt cheap. I think we charge them for a bottle for 3 months for $15. I think it's about $5
that's about what it is.
It's not very much money. It's dirt cheap. But more important than that, it is even lowering that risk of endometrial, breast, and ovarian cancer. Now, here's a few other neat things that a lot of people don't know. But did you know that if you have fibrocystic breast disease, women have fibrocystic breast disease, if you replace the iodide at 6 milligrams a day for 6 months, most patients with fibrocystic breast disease, you can cure their fibrocystic breast disease.
No, we do.
Wow.
Kind
of thing. It's also very good for women that have ovarian cysts, too. I don't know the numbers for that, but it's amazing. So that's why we use iodine.
Okay. So testing your thyroid is easy with the thermometer. To determine whether you need to be tested.
Exactly.
And further.
This is something you can do at home, Jazz.
Okay.
It's dirt cheap.
What are we going
to
do? We can take a break, and then when we come back, what's next?
We're going to talk about a test to do, how to check if you have adrenal exhaustion.
Adrenal exhaustion.
All you need is a mirror.
A mirror?
And a little miniature flashlight.
Grab your flashlight and your mirror and be prepared to test yourself.
It's the great, huge, and whopping Jazz McKay Show on KNZR.
And we're back. More of the Jazz McKay Show on KNZR with Dr. Mensink, and we're talking about home testing. Now, adrenal, what did you say, exhaustion?
Or adrenal fatigue.
Or adrenal fatigue can be tested with just a mirror and a flashlight.
Yes.
Go for it.
Well, it's essentially if you have a lot of fatigue and tiredness. In fact, I saw a lady this morning, one of my patients this morning, that we're not getting better. I don't like to admit that, but once in a while we're missing it. And she's under a lot of stress. And I did this little test. And it was just like that. It showed, and then it tells us where to go, essentially. But here's what this test does. It's called the pupillary dilation test. Essentially, you'll stand in front of a mirror, and you look in the mirror at your pupil size.
Okay.
All right? And then you shine a light right into that light. into that eye, and you hold it there for about a minute and watch. Now, if you are normal, it constricts.
Right.
And it stays constricted
for a goodly amount of time.
More than 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to watch and time it, okay?
This is what when you walk into a room and turn the light on, you've been in the dark.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay? So you have a little timer, or you have your husband or spouse time it, all right, 30 seconds, and you watch, all right? Now, if you have adrenal problems, you know what happens? Number one, it will constrict, but won't stay down for 30 seconds. It'll dilate after that.
Really?
Or the lady I had this morning that I saw.
After 30 seconds?
No, before 30.
Before 30. Oh, wow.
It starts to dilate, all right? In fact, this lady, what happened to her, I shined the light in her eyes, and it went down and up and down and up and down and up and down. See, that's also a sign. That's a second sign that shows this is adrenal. We need to look at it.
It's like an aperture on a camera lens. It just goes back and forth.
So those two things. So what you do is you look in the mirror. Have somebody time for 30 seconds. You put the light right in your eye, all right? You shine it in your eye, and you watch the pupil. And if it comes down, stays down for 30 seconds,
then you're fine.
You're fine. Simple.
So your exhaustion might be from something else.
Yes, from something else. But if you do that and it stays down for 10 seconds and then it starts to dilate,
you got adrenal problems.
Most likely adrenal problems. Or if you shine it in, it goes up and down and up and down and up and down. We're shining. I've seen them even oscillate a little bit. But if it's not that normal thing, then you need to look at the adrenals. And it's a simple, cheap thing. It's safe. You can't go wrong with it.
No. So you know what to tell the doc when you go in to see him.
Yeah.
I did this test. I heard about it on the radio, and this is what I'm worried about if my adrenal gland is exhausted.
Yeah. Well, and then it gives you an idea of where to go from there and what you do about it. Okay?
You know what's funny about getting old? When I was a kid, I thought that nap time was like a punishment. And now that I've gotten older, it's like a vacation. I mean, it's almost like something you look forward to, but I don't think I'm really suffering from any adrenal exhaustion. But I'll try that when I get older.
The Mensink axiom is a simple, safe, and cheap. And I like it for my patients.
What else are we home testing for today?
Well, the third one I thought we'd talk about is gut health. And how do you gut your bowels?
Innards.
Yeah, your innards, your bowels. How can you tell if your gut is healthy? And there's a very simple way of doing it. It's what's called transit time. Transit time is a big word for saying the time between when you eat something and it comes out the other end.
Yeah,
all right?
Right.
How long does it take to go through the stomach, the duodenum, the small intestine, the jejunum, through the colon, and comes out as feces? That's called transit time.
Okay.
Now, there's two. And the first thing is that if you have a higher transit time than 2 days, all right, the risk goes up for
2 days.
2 days. It goes up way up for cancers of the GI tract, including stomach, colon cancer, especially, all this kind of stuff. All right, and even certain things like most people have never heard of Burkitt's lymphoma and things like that, but there are certain types of illness. This is 30, 40 years ago. The studies were done. But they looked at Africans with low transit times, and they would usually eat today and later on this afternoon have a bowel movement kind of thing with the same thing going right through them. Mm-hmm. But they watched and found that people with very low transit times, 4, 5, 6 days, had this marked increase in colon cancers. And this is where this essentially came from years ago. So what do you do with it? All right. First of all, the test includes you have to essentially take something that you can identify. All right, going through you.
In your stool, yeah.
Now, the first way that people recommend is that you can go to the drugstore and you can buy activated charcoal tablets, 1.5 grams or 3 gram tablets. All right, okay. And there, by the way, for any family that has small kids in their house, I recommend that you keep some activated charcoal in the house. Here's a simple reason why. Number one, it's dirt cheap; it costs next to nothing. Number two, you can't overdose on it. Number three is if you ever have a child that takes an overdose of something, you follow what I'm saying?
Right.
If you give them activated charcoal immediately, before you even get to the hospital, the activated charcoal absorbs those toxins and helps prevent them from getting into trouble.
Wait a minute. I rember hearing about this years ago.
Yes,
I know what these pills are you're talking about. Now, how do you track the transit time of your breakfast?
Sure. So what you do is you eat your regular meal, take 2 or 3 of these activated charcoal tablets, all right? And then wait. And every bowel movement, you wait and watch. And your stool that is from that meal will turn black.
Okay.
All right? When you get a black stool,
then you know
that's the transit time.
I know an even better way to test.
You know it. We talked about this, isn't it?
Now I know why you were telling me eating corn.
Exactly.
Because we don't absorb corn.
The hustles. The hustles. I don't know what they call
the hustle.
The custles.
The custles it's the custles.
The kernels themselves. The hull of the kernel.
Yes,
we don't absorb. We don't digest.
We don't digest. So then it shows up.
Yeah, you will see how many days later.
Now, not cream corn, but regular corn in a can or on a cob or something.
That's even cheaper.
See, this is how I know that I'm okay down there, because I'm at least as far as these particular conditions that you're describing, I love corn. I will buy, and my wife will tell you, I will buy cans of corn at the 99-cent store, and I could sit and eat
The whole
an
can.
entire can of corn. I'll drain it, and
all
I'll
you
just
have to
sit
do
there
is
and
eat
eat
the
it out of the
corn
can.
and then wait. See
I
how
just
many
love
days.
it.
How many days later the corn shows up in your stool.
Yeah, but it's
All right?
the same. It's
the
well,
same
it
idea.
depends. It depends. If it's around, you say 6 or 7 o'clock at night when I get the munchies,
Yeah.
and I go, oh, there's just some corn in there, and it's calling to me. I got to go get that can of corn and open it up. The next morning, there it is.
So that you have a very good transit time then,
Yeah.
right? What you want to do is you want to look at, see what that number is. If it's 1 or 2 days, doesn't matter, no problem. But you start getting in 3, 4, 5, 6 days, then it's probably worthwhile seeing your doctor because to find out why. All right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some reason why. What is the issue there? And number 2 is then there's a lot of other things that have to be looked at with respect to gut health. We now know that gut health is a major issue with rheumatological diseases and with a whole bunch of neat things that we didn't know about 20 years ago.
Well, yeah, but it's also a major quality of life thing, too.
It can be.
Because,
yes.
oh, buddy, you know that I have some intestinal problems that we're going to work on. And folks, if you know what I'm talking about, when you go, let's say you're going to the fair.
And you have to look for that.
And you have to map out every bathroom in the fairgrounds. And who wants to do number 2 at the
fair?
There's a fair in the bathroom. It's disgusting. And that's why, for a lot of folks, it really is a quality. You watch, there's a commercial on TV for some IBS drug. And you see this woman as she's walking along, and
it's accurate, Janice.
It
that's
really
how
is.
these people are.
When I saw that commercial,
that's how these people.
My God,
that's how these people are.
You got to know. And Chris will tell you. In fact, folks, here's a little something. My wife is the only person besides Chris and Puck that know this. If coming out of a commercial break, there's on this show, and there's a song playing, and not me talking before the song plays. Let's just put it this way. There's a reason why. We'll be right back. More with Dr. Mensink and another home testing another bit of home testing that you can do to test for.
Imagine, Jazz, if you could do a test to check your cell acidity.
Your cell acidity?
Acidity.
Acidity.
Yes.
Okay, now we've tested the innards and the adrenal exhaustion
and thyroid.
And the thyroid deal. What's the
We're going to do one more
test?
thing. One more thing you do at home. And essentially, this is called the cell acidity test. And essentially, you have to buy some pH.
Cell acidity. Now I see what you
cell
said.
Acidity test. But you have to buy some pH paper at the drugstore. Or if you have pool chemicals, use
you can get
but it's cheap and easy to get.
It is.
All right? What you do is you take a first urine in the morning when you get up. Mm-hmm. And you check the pH.
You pee on a strip.
Yeah. Well, you just pee in a little cup and put this strip in a cup kind of thing.
All right.
If that pH of the first urine is less than 6.5, it may, not for sure, but it leans you towards the idea that your cell body issue, your cell metabolism is a bit too acidic. All right? Yes. Now, here's the neat thing. It's actually very easy to change that. And the simple way is that you need to eat more fresh fruit and vegetables and less meat. All right? So if you
it's sacrilege.
Yeah, so if you can check your urine pH, first urine pH in the morning,
right,
then you will know right away, should I be changing my diet a bit? Or am I getting enough of
Can you just drink V8? Where do you rate V8? I mean,
I don't I don't know.
I'm being serious. I know there's a lot of sodium in it, but and they do make a low sodium version that tastes like
terrible, by the way.
But it's
I don't know the answer to it. We do know, Jazz, is that to change acidity is usually it's a dietary issue. There's a bunch of other things you can do,
right.
But it's a simple way of saying, should I be eating more fresh fruits and vegetables? There are studies coming out right now that, for instance, I have patients that don't do well, and they're I'm eating lots of juice of fruits and vegetables, but they're all eating juices. All right,
okay.
And there are some studies showing that doesn't really work and do what you want. I don't know the reason why, but. And many of these patients, we ask them to stop using their fruit.
I love the fruits and all that stuff.
But prepared now, if you ground it up yourself, and
well, that's what I was. That was my next thing.
But,
what if I take some carrots and some celery
there's no problem with that.
Wheatgrass and things like that, and just mix it.
But that's a different story than buying a bottle of stuff from the store of fruit juice or of vegetable juice or carrot juice.
Well, because I know you look at the ingredients and there's all kinds of chemicals in there too. I mean, it's mostly preservatives.
That's a simple way of checking your cell acidity and saying, "Is my diet good?"
Okay,
that's where I look at it.
I wanted to.
Should I change my diet?
I wanted to ask you about this. I heard this read this horrible story on the web today about how am I pronouncing it? Zika virus?
Zika or Zika virus?
Zika, a Zika virus.
This is just terrible, Jazz.
This it said that we don't have it here. It's not natural in the United States.
You
it's
want to
natural
take a trip down to South America or East Asia?
Brazil is where, and it's spreading. It started in Africa, it said the article, and it spread to South America, and now it's moving northward. And if you folks were afraid of the killer bees coming from Mexico,
if you're pregnant, don't go down there.
This is much worse than the killer bees. Explain the Zika virus.
Well, we don't know that much about it, all right? In fact, 10 years ago, I'd never heard of it. Mm-hmm. But this is a virus that, with pregnant females, causes microcephaly, cranial vault problems, and maybe even anencephaly, all right? So really it changes the baby's brains. Because I want you to remember, every time that you have a baby with abnormal brains or the skull, think of the skull as a bunch of plates, moving plates.
Well, right, that's what it
is.
is.
The moving plates.
Yeah, right.
And if the brain doesn't grow right, those plates don't grow properly.
Develop. Yeah.
And you have these freaks or these funny-looking kids, all right? Now, there's a little caution there, and I have to say that there's something called cranial synostosis, but that's a big word for saying that between age 2 to 6 months a year in infants, you can what we call synostose, or certain parts of those sutures will not be loose. They'll sort of
grow together.
And these babies, you'll get these...
like the soft spot on the top of the
baby's
head.
Its soft spot should be there to 11 to 14 months. They'll go away early. No, right. And you'll get these babies with heads, depending what suture is involved, with funny shaped heads. They're all they call them FLKs, but they have a cone head or something like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And
they get
sunken in forehead,
different kind of things. But those all those things are those funny shaped things are either cranial synostosis issues, or they have these virus things that are caused. They're causing
now, this virus causes symptoms including a mild fever, conjunctivitis.
Yeah, that's like an eye infection, itchy eyes, and red
a
eyes.
Headache. So far has been found in 21 countries in the Caribbean, North and South America.
There's no treatment, Jess.
And that's what it says here. No treatment, no vaccine is available. It's been linked to thousands of babies being born with underdeveloped brains, and some countries have advised women flat out don't get pregnant at all. Ever.
Isn't that terrible? My response to this, Jazz, like we talked earlier off the air, but I think there's no treatment for this, right? I mean, you can't. There's no treatment. So what I look at is it would be better. The way to solve this problem is you need to make sure you go to your doctor and make sure your immune system is up here.
Very good.
Not down
Very
here.
good point.
Right?
Yeah, because this virus can't attack you.
Yeah, this is an immune system issue.
That's right. Okay.
And if your immune system's up here, and the immune system, that means your hormones are proper, your thyroid's okay, your D3, we've talked about this before, you have no depression issues or sleep problems, you have all adrenals are okay. All these, your immune system's up here.
Taking zinc help?
Could, if you have a zinc deficiency.
Sure.
Zinc is good for prostate stuff, by the way, a lot too. But the key to this kind of stuff, Jess, is really it's an immune system issue.
Now, will this have, if I were to get the Zika virus, it's not going to, is it going to make my head shrink and my brain?
If you're pregnant and
it'll pass along to the baby.
Yeah, it may. I don't know if we know for sure if it will. I don't really know.
But that's it so far as what we know. You will, if you get the Zika virus, how long will you suffer headaches and?
I don't know, Jazz. I would think. My guess, or maybe I don't know. It's maybe better to say, maybe more honest to say. But I would think that this is like any other virus. You're going to get a viremic syndrome. Okay. That lasts between 10 days and 3 weeks, kind of thing for the typical person. All right. All these symptoms are what's called a viremia.
Would a flu shot would not?
No, it wouldn't make a difference.
There's just nothing you can do.
No, there's nothing you can do. Keep your immune system up, Jess.
That's and when it hits these third world nations, I mean they don't know diddly. I mean the doctors. Doctors Without Borders are down there, and there are American doctors.
But most of these people, I suspect, that these have patients that are not
smart.
I don't know if it's smart, but have access or knowledge about immune system issues.
Yeah,
right?
that's true too. Yeah, that's a damn shame. It was scary. I'm reading this article, and the way the doc is describing what the physical manifestations to the head of the child.
It's terrible. It's disastrous.
They look like pinheads.
Yeah.
I saw pictures of these kids. God bless them. They all had
no forehead.
No foreheads. It kind of goes in and then comes up,
Yep.
and then literally to a point. And it reminded me of the movie from the 1930s. Todd Browning, I believe, was the director, if I recall, a movie called Freaks, and it was filmed in a circus. And it's about these freaks that were in the circus, taking over the circus at some point and whatnot. And it's kind of a horror movie, but they used real pinheads. Real pinhead. There's a guy with no arms and no legs who stabs a woman or a guy to death because he can carry the knife in his mouth, and he kind of looks like a crab scooting across the thing. But they're all real, and the pinheads. I don't know. Is there another term?
Microcephaly.
Microcephaly?
Yes.
Microcephaly. People suffering from that. People with those sunken foreheads. Do they ever grow up and have a normal life? They do. No. That's terrible.
There's different levels of functioning, but these are not normal kids.
Zika virus originated in Africa, and what I'm reading about says that it's come to South America, particularly Brazil. And there have been
marching up.
Yeah, it's marching up, and so you got to get your immune system up, folks.
Yeah, I kind of look for pregnant women. There's two things we do for pregnant women today. We ask them if there's certain, they go to the regular doctor and they check them for herpes and a few other things. Number two, we have them take folic acid, 0.4 milligrams for pre-pregnant women, and once you're pregnant, 1 milligram per day. And I'm a strong believer that women of childbearing age, when they come in, we encourage them to take a multivitamin. You buy them over the counter. It's not that expensive, with 0.4 milligrams of folic acid in it. And because it just prevents a lot of neuro problems down the road in these babies. But for this, the addition thing for women who want to get pregnant, you just need to make sure your immune system's up. This is not something for crack babies or drug addicts to get pregnant, stuff like that.
No. This is completely different now. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the immune systems in pregnant women traditionally lower a little bit, don't they?
That depends on the pregnancy, or it depends on the time of the pregnancy.
Okay.
And, there can be either an increased immune system and a lower immune system.
Okay, because I know that
typically they have. Think of this: the baby has foreign DNA from the father. So that the mom's immune system overall has to be suppressed a certain extent to carry that baby.
To carry the baby, okay.
That's normal.
All right, Doc. Dr. Mensink with us. This next time you come, I do want to talk about more. I want to get more into the innards.
Okay,
let's talk about IBS and all the other. There are other.
Yes, there's a bunch of things. Let's talk about irritable bowel syndrome.
Okay, we'll do that.
Let's talk because that's fairly common. Let's do that.
We'll do that. The practice, ladies and gentlemen, give them a call 871-3300. 871-3300. You pay once a month, a low fee to be a member of the practice.
Jazz, it's $79 a month. But you know what's neat? As of December 1st, we've included to the Tier 2, which is $99. 85% of all people's labs are free. Included now.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Jeez,
for an extra $20 more, literally.
Well, let me tell you something.
Everything we do in the office is free.
When I go get blood test, my copay always $20.
It's a no-brainer.
At PAL, my copay is always $20. So just
pay the $99 fee, and it's all free.
There you go. 871-3300, the practice. Dr. Mensink, thanks for being with us this afternoon, brother. And next time we'll talk more about innards.
Innards. Okay.
It's the Jazz McKay program on KNZR.
Jazz McKay on 1560 AM and 97.7 FM KNZR.
Think of the practice like a doctor from 50 years ago. No long waits for appointments. 40% of our appointments are seen same day. No rushed appointments, and access to phenomenal amount of discounts. We have the time to do good medicine. We're also focused on the emotional, the spiritual, dietary. All of those things feed in. We do more than most urgent cares do because we have the expertise, the skills, and the equipment to do it. We're able to do that top quality medicine, have that phenomenal access for less than a cup of coffee a day.
I joined the practice for a number of reasons. One, I knew Jan Mensink for many years. He's a superb doctor, and I have appreciated his expertise in other areas. It's very affordable. Medications, he's worked out deals with pharmacies. One medication I get for free would cost me $300. What I like best about the practice is the availability, accessibility. At times I'm able to get in 2 or 3 hours. They deeply care about their patients here in an extraordinary way, which is unusual in today's modern medicine in most places.
My husband and I joined the practice 3 years ago. We could not afford medical care at the time. Not long after we joined, my husband had a spider bite and he got very ill within a day. I was terrified that we were gonna have to put him in the hospital, which I knew we're looking at $40,000, $50,000. We brought him in and Dr. Mensink saved his life. We were able to come in here every day without any extra charges. I love Dr. Mensink. He's wonderful, and I will never ever forget how Dr. Mensink was with us.
My family and I have been members of the practice for the past 2 years. I joined the practice because I wanted to find a place where my family could be treated without taking a lot of time. But what we like about the practice is that if our kids are sick or we're sick, we need medical attention, they'll take us usually the same day. They treat you very well. It's not very expensive, it's affordable. I like that the practice is always there for us. Nos unimos con The Practice para que nuestra familia tenga muy buenos, eficaces doctores. Nos gusta mucho porque si uno de mis hijos está enfermo, nos meten de forma inmediata, por lo general el mismo día.
Lo que más me gusta de Practice es que hablan mi idioma.
Es un plan muy económico y que atienden a uno muy bien. Lo que más me gusta de The Practice es que siempre están ahí para mi familia.
Cuando llegué a la oficina y vi al doctor Mensink, yo llegué y me sentía débil, muy débil. Yo había visto muchos doctores y no me arreglaban el problema. Pero cuando llegué aquí al doctor Mensink, él me hizo un chequeo, un examen completo y encontró el problema y me ayudó, me dio el tratamiento que necesitaba y ahora me siento con mucha energía y estoy muy contento aquí. Él es un excelente doctor, estoy seguro que les dará ayuda tal como lo hizo conmigo.
Think of the practice like a doctor from 50 years ago. No long waits for appointments. 40% of our appointments are seen same day. No rushed appointments, and access to phenomenal amount of discounts. We have the time to do good medicine. We're also focused on the emotional, the spiritual, dietary. All of those things feed in. We do more than most urgent cares do because we have the expertise, the skills, and the equipment to do it. We're able to do that top quality medicine, have that phenomenal access for less than a cup of coffee a day.
I joined the practice for a number of reasons. One, I knew Jan Mensink for many years. He's a superb doctor and I have appreciated his expertise in other areas. It's very affordable. Medications, he's worked out deals with pharmacies. One medication I get for free would cost me $300. What I like best about the practice is the availability, accessibility. At times I'm able to get in 2 or 3 hours. They deeply care about their patients here in an extraordinary way, which is unusual in today's modern medicine in most places.
My husband and I joined the practice 3 years ago. We could not afford medical care at the time. Not long after we joined, my husband had a spider bite and he got very ill within a day. I was terrified that we were going to have to put him in the hospital, which I knew we're looking at $40,000, $50,000. We brought him in and Dr. Mensink saved his life. We were able to come in here every day without any extra charges. I love Dr. Mensink. He's wonderful and I will never ever forget how Dr. Mensink was with us.
My family and I have been members of the practice for the past 2 years. I joined the practice because I wanted to find a place where my family could be treated without taking a lot of time. But what we like about the practice is that if our kids are sick or we're sick, we need medical attention, they'll take us usually the same day. They treat you very well. It's not very expensive, it's affordable. I like that the practice is always there for us. Nos unimos con The Practice para que nuestra familia tenga muy buenos, eficaces doctores. Nos gusta mucho porque si uno de mis hijos está enfermo, nos meten de forma inmediata, por lo general el mismo día.
Lo que más me gusta de Practice es que hablan mi idioma.
Es un plan muy económico y que atienden a uno muy bien. Lo que más me gusta de The Practice es que siempre están ahí para mi familia.
Cuando llegué a la oficina y vi al doctor Mensink, yo llegué y me sentía débil, muy débil. Yo había visto muchos doctores y no me arreglaban el problema. Pero cuando llegué aquí al doctor Mensink, él me hizo un chequeo, un examen completo y encontró el problema y me ayudó, me dio el tratamiento que necesitaba y ahora me siento con mucha energía y estoy muy contento aquí. Él es un excelente doctor, estoy seguro que les dará ayuda tal como lo hizo conmigo.